Welcome everyone to a live episode of the Hype Man Podcast. I'm your host, Leroy Olaroy. Either way, it's your boy. And we are here today to discuss complex migraines?
Yes.
Complex migraines. So Heather, what is complex migraines? And oh, by the way, this is just a little teaser for the main episode that we're going to do later next week.
So complex migraine is the same as complicated migraine, and I'm going to give you the current symptoms that I've had the last 2 days that Leroy and I've experienced. And I say Leroy and I because he lives it through me.
Mm-hmm.
So the day before yesterday, I had migraine full force around 5 a.m. And before that led up to the migraine was I had dizziness and a lot of vestibular migraines prior to that. Some lightheadedness. We also noticed some facial droopings in my eye. And then I also noticed when I was talking with a friend that following night, or that same night, that I had communication difficulties with her. And I also noticed that same night I had kind of blurry vision, somewhat distorted vision, and that can happen with these types of migraines.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday's symptoms for me, I had both pain both in my face and neck. And then I also had nausea that same morning. And then when I'm talking about pain in my head burning and throbbing like pain in my head. So what happened, it started off down here at the base and then was on both sides. Then it moved up to the top of my head, then to the base, and then back later that evening to the base of my head to both sides. So it tends to
It just
move
jumped around.
Yeah. Then we had some unexplained irritability, mood swings that happened, and Leroy can always testify to those because he knows what they're like, and they're not fun for either one of us. So.
No, and I tend to know just when she's in the migraine. Normally for Heather, her migraines are when she helps me out with the dogs a little bit when she can, when she can, I'll see her facial droopings, or it seems like there's not, she's not lively. There's not a lot of life in her face. That's when I know she's in a migraine.
Or getting a migraine.
Or getting a migraine. There'll be minimal minimal verbal communication from me, just because first of all I know Heather's not a morning person in the first place, and then second of all, if she's in the migraine, those two combinations, the best thing is just to tell her, hey, thank you for doing what you did for the dogs. I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna walk them. I'm gonna give them their meds, give them their food. While I'm out walking them, Heather will refill the water bowl, set that all up, and then by the time I come in, she's either getting something to drink and then heading back upstairs. So that's pretty much her routine when she's in a migraine.
Yeah. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays when you go to work early, because you work those days, I
work in the office those days.
Yes, and then thank you. But then I walk the dog, so he doesn't have to walk the dogs those days. Migraine or no migraine. And other ones I've had symptom-wise yesterday was scalp tenderness. So that for me was pretty much all over. I couldn't wear a ponytail in my hair. It really hurt to wear one, and usually I'm pretty much comfortable wearing a ponytail in any migraine. And yesterday my arms felt heavy, and they were both in pain, meaning achiness and kind of stiff a little bit, even though I've been doing some gentle yoga to help loosen that tension. And then I also felt weird in my arms, and it's really hard to describe what that weird feeling is. It was no numbness, it was no tingling.
It was a heaviness?
There was definitely heaviness, but there was it just felt weird too.
Okay, so it felt different from the hemiplegic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much so.
Okay.
And then I also tend to get muscle spasms with this, which can lead into knots in the back of my neck and shoulder, which sucks, but it is what it is, according to one of your famous statements.
Oh, it is what it is.
Uh-huh.
What was I going to say? Has your muscle spasms continued today or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was about to say that's something to keep an eye on if it was continuing, but
yeah.
Okay.
So, generally, complicated complex migraines can last from 4 to 72 hours, maybe more days than that, depending on who you are as a person and other, health issues. And just remember that when we do these podcasts or this podcast, just because I have this type of migraine or symptoms does not mean, you might have this type of migraine. And it might, but you just, I don't want somebody to be like, oh, I have that, just because this person said these symptoms.
Yeah, always get yourself checked out by a professional.
Yep. And the reason why, especially for this type and any type of migraine, just to medically rule out any other underlying health issues or anything else that might be going on.
Right.
So, things I have tried to alleviate pain is ice hats that I had to wear a couple times yesterday and the day before.
Yeah.
Gentle yoga I do as best as I can when I'm in a migraine, and if I can't because of my upper arms, then I focus on my lower body. If I can't because of my lower body, I focus on my upper arms. Or if I can't do either parts of my body, then I just, do neck stretches and basic stuff like that. If I can't do it at all, then I just don't, we kind of feel around with that. Peppermint essential oil, something my doctor always recommends doing. And adult soothing bedtime stories on Spotify that I've been finding, and other migrainers. In my support group that I have, they have also been finding similar adult bedtime meditation like stories, also very soothing and helpful during migraine attacks.
Yeah, I actually listened to one that Heather's listened to. I listened to it, and the woman's voice was soothing. I was like, oh yeah, this will put me to sleep, but I don't have problems going to sleep. But if I ever did, I would definitely ask Heather to share that audio story thing with me so I can listen to it. But I don't have a problem sleeping. But when Heather's like, oh, she actually worked. She actually put me to sleep. So I was like, okay, well, what does she sound like? And she let me listen to it. I was like, oh yeah, she would definitely put me to sleep.
Yep. And if you're ever curious about things that we talk about, I do I do share a lot of these things in my Migraine Community support group that I have, where, I share it with other members, thinking maybe if it helps me, it may help them, and it may not help them, but it's worthy of a share.
Sure.
So, and I also had tried to alleviate the pain, ice pack at the back of my neck, because one of the articles on complicated migraine reminded me to try it at the back of my neck as well.
Did that ease any?
It eased a little bit of the tension in the back of my head, but not necessarily like the pain that was up here. But so I did a little something, and so those are some things that I experienced these past couple days. And if you want to pull up the picture of what I look like, because right now I look okay, I look fine, but I'm experiencing another migraine as we speak. it's one of those things where we've been noticing facial drooping and other symptoms, another migraine is coming on. So
yeah, and as you can see in the picture, with the facial drooping Heather was talking about, she's also experiencing trigeminal myalgia. No,
so trigeminal neuralgia disorder.
Okay, or TN for short.
Yes, and that's all the red inflammation somebody might see in my face.
Right, you see it in the bridge of her nose, her cheeks, her chin, and a little bit above her lips, and then you can see the migraine with the facial drooping in her eyes, the squinting in her eye, the squinting of her eyes, and then also the increased tension in the forehead area.
And you can physically see I'm in pain. And a lot of times, like family members or friends, or anybody might say, well, why would you show something like this? Right? Like, why do you want to put yourself out there and show that? And it's just to let people know, like, migraines are real. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean we're not in pain. Right. And a lot of times we are, what was the word I used yesterday?
Faking it?
Yeah, thank you. A lot of times, like, people might think we're faking it, but we're not. And it's one of the things that, can impede us from not doing XYZ. So a lot of times we are, putting on a good front just so we can try to do what we need to do.
Just to enjoy life the best that they can in the moment.
Yep.
So they can say at least they went to go, see their friends or a birthday party or a get together or something on those lines.
Yeah. And for us, like, for me, my thumb rule is if I have a migraine during a birthday party, holiday, celebration, okay, we just go for an hour or two, and we, if I can hold on longer than an hour or two, okay, great. If not, then we've made our appearance, our presence, and enjoyed the time that we were there.
Right.
So that's my thumb rule, but that doesn't have to be everybody else's.
Correct.
Like, if you can't go, you can't go, you know. And there's times where I haven't been able to.
Yep.
So, it's not easy, but, we definitely make do. And, Leroy does try to support me in more ways than one. And one of the many ways is, trying to build up on my migraine kit that we've talked about in previous series. And that's helpful too. So, sometimes I just need his loving hand or just his loving shoulder, and, just feeling somebody's body or his body, just by the touch, like this, like, to me, that's comforting and it's soothing.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that's for everybody, right? Like, that's
because there's some people who are just like, don't touch me, I'm in it.
Yep.
Let me, be where I need to be. Let me lay down. Let me do what I need to do, and hopefully in time I'll be well enough to do what I need to do for later in the day or whatever's planned for later in the day. So, Yep.
So those are some things that, we wanted to give you a little bit of a teaser for what is going to be coming.
Right.
And hopefully this helps you and your loved ones, and
just give you guys a little sneak peek of what's coming on later next week. So thank you again, Heather. Thank you again, everybody, for the love and support of the Hype Man podcast and our migraine journey. This will be an ongoing series to inform and educate everyone, migrainers, non-migrainers,
spouses, family,
anybody, friends. So, just to get the awareness out there. So, all right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you next week sometime. Not sure what day it is, but look out for the new episode on Complex Migraines, and we'll see you guys then. All right, have a good night.